Good morning, listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, the 8th of July, 2024, and here's the latest in major news. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal fraud conspiracy charge in the United States following violations of a deal aimed at reforming the company after two fatal crashes of its 737 MAX planes, resulting in the tragic deaths of 346 passengers and crew members. The U.S. Department of Justice announced that Boeing would also pay a criminal fine of $600,000. However, the settlement, still needing approval from a U.S. judge, has been criticized by families of the crash victims as a sweetheart deal, insufficient for holding Boeing fully accountable. Moreover, a recent safety incident involving a Boeing plane operated by Alaska Airlines has raised further concerns about the company's commitment to safety improvements. In response to these developments, Boeing's plea agreement marks a significant chapter, as the company now faces the repercussions of having a criminal record, potentially affecting its contracts with the U.S. government. In the legal arena, despite strong recommendation for prosecution by senior DOJ staff, Boeing has avoided a public trial, much to the dismay of the victims' families who seek full transparency and justice. Good morning, this is Emily Norma bringing you today's most pressing news.
And I'm David, at your service.
We're thrilled to have you tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications to stay updated with all the latest developments. Now, straight to the hot topics.
How significant is Boeing's decision to plead guilty in this case?
It's extremely significant. By pleading guilty to criminal fraud, Boeing is acknowledging its wrongdoing in deceiving the Federal Aviation Administration about the MCAS flight control system. This plea also spares the company from a potentially damaging public trial, but it leaves them with a criminal record which could impact their business, especially their government contracts.
What about the settlement amount? Does $600,000 seem proportional to the scale of the tragedy?
Not at all. Considering that 346 lives were lost due to the crashes, a fine of $600,000 seems minimal. Critics, especially the families of the victims, view this as a sweetheart deal that doesn't truly hold Boeing accountable for the full scope of their actions and the resulting loss of life.
Could this plea affect Boeing's future in the aviation industry?
Definitely. Having a criminal record is a black mark that could influence Boeing's reputation and operational capabilities. It raises doubts about their commitment to safety and may affect their standing as one of the world's largest manufacturers of commercial jets. The government can bar firms with criminal records from bidding on contracts, although they can grant waivers. The long-term effects will depend on Boeing's actions moving forward and their ability to restore trust in their safety practices.
What's the perspective of the victims' families on this plea?
The families are deeply disappointed. They've called for more substantial justice, reflecting the severe loss they've suffered. The plea deal, to them, feels like a way for Boeing to avoid a detailed and public examination of their failings, thus denying the families the closure of a full trial.
Is there any indication of what comes next for Boeing, in terms of legal and regulatory challenges?
Boeing isn't out of the woods yet. They still face ongoing investigations and possible lawsuits, especially considering the recent incident with an Alaska Airlines flight. It's clear that the company needs to make significant improvements in safety and transparency to move forward positively. Just last week, there was another headline that caught everyone's attention, involving a major airline's emergency landing due to mechanical failure. It seems there's a worrying trend in the aviation industry regarding safety oversights.
Interestingly, I came across a similar story where pilot quick thinking averted potential disaster on a flight overseas. It's almost serendipitous how these incidents continue to unfold, highlighting the ongoing challenges in maintaining safety in aviation.
These stories underscore the critical need for stringent safety protocols and transparent reporting within the industry. It's not just about avoiding fines or legal repercussions, it's fundamentally about protecting lives.
Absolutely, and it brings us back to the point about Boeing's situation. The plea deal and the reaction from various stakeholders suggest a deep dissatisfaction with how justice is being served, especially when lives are at stake.
Right, and the call for a public trial by Mr. Castle reflects a desire for transparency and accountability. It's a clear signal that people want more than just behind-the-scenes settlements, they want a thorough airing of the facts.
Exactly, and as Ed Pearson pointed out, the deal is seriously disappointing. It shows a pattern where accountability is diluted, and systemic issues are glossed over rather than rigorously addressed.
This conversation is crucial as it highlights the intersection of legal outcomes, corporate responsibility, and public safety. The aviation industry, indeed all industries, must prioritize these aspects to prevent such tragedies in the future. The recurring theme here is not just about one faulty system or one incident, it's about a pattern of behavior. Since 2015, Boeing has had multiple run-ins with the Federal Aviation Administration, paying out millions in penalties over various manufacturing and safety lapses.
It's a troubling history that adds layers to the current crisis. They're still grappling with lawsuits and investigations from the January incident involving an Alaska Airlines flight. It seems like the issues are far from over.
And it's not just about the financial penalties or the lawsuits. There's a broader issue of trust and reliability, which are crucial for an aerospace giant that is responsible for the safety of millions of passengers every year.
Absolutely. As the legal and public scrutiny continues, Boeing must reassess its internal policies and the integrity of its operations. It's essential for them to restore confidence among passengers, regulators, and their own employees.
As we continue to follow this story, it will be important to see how Boeing navigates these turbulent waters. Will they make the necessary adjustments to prioritize safety and transparency? Only time will tell, but it's clear that the road ahead is fraught with challenges.
Indeed, and these developments are something we'll keep a close eye on. The implications are wide-ranging, not just for Boeing, but for the aviation industry at large.
Thanks for tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News today. We dived deep into the ongoing Boeing saga, discussing the intricate legal and safety challenges they face. Your presence and engagement are what keep us going. Please subscribe, activate notifications, and share this episode. Your feedback is invaluable, so don't hesitate to leave us a comment.
And remember, you don't want to miss what we've got lined up. Our conversations are designed to enlighten and perhaps even entertain a little. We're on the air daily, bringing you the freshest insights and stories.
We truly appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more discussions on the pressing issues of our times. Thank you for being part of our listener community.
Yep, keep those comments coming. We love to see your thoughts and engage with them. It's always interesting to see what strikes a chord with you all.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.